Okay, okay. We're going to watch mindfulness. Powerful video about mindfulness in school. Yeah, this one. Okay, we're going to watch this together. It's in school. Mindfulness practice in school.
Deep down, I keep feeling this pain in my chest. I got kicked out of my house.
The panic attacks.
I, like many other teens, have struggled with anxiety.
My social anxiety.
Really bad anxiety and depression.
I used to go to school just completely exhausted every single day because I'd be up all night worrying.
I felt kind of like a ghost roaming through the halls.
The stress made me sick.
It's just a lot of repetitional thinking about like if there is a purpose to life, whether if there is any reason to continue forth or to just cut it short.
Take a second and breathe and reflect on what you feel.
Awareness to who I really am and how I matter.
Finding balance.
It really feels like a place where you can be yourself.
We can be authentic.
Feel safe.
Safe?
I was like on the verge of suicide before taking the class, and my family didn't really know what else to do. I was in counseling and seeing a therapist and taking medicine. Spending the first semester in this class really helped me get past that point and not let the mental illnesses I struggle with take over my life. So class brought a lot.
Anytime I start to feel overwhelmed, drop down, I put my head down. I was like, all right, let's think. I just started breathing, and it's just really helpful. It's easy to get mad. It's not easy to get angry and then bring yourself down. Me growing up, I was always told meditation and stuff was things that priests or it was a girl thing. But then you grow up a little bit and you're meditation is just you taking care of yourself, and everybody should take care of themselves.
It's real stuff. It's what you need.
You learn these tips for life skills that actually bring you together and interweave with everyone else.
Being able to share.
Direct my attention and stay present.
I can break my fear.
I now know how to turn my attention to my breath, calm myself down.
I knew that I could help myself.
Observe life more.
How to speak in a way that makes people want to open up to you.
Show myself loving kindness.
Learning how to control my anger. I also learned how to, be more of a better listener.
This class means everything to me right now.
It honestly feels like 50 pounds is lifted off my shoulders.
I truly believe that this class has saved my life and changed it for the better.
Thinking about what the mindfulness class at my school has done for my community and my school in general, it's been groundbreaking.
I think it's just a really valuable class, and I honestly wish that it was at every high school in the U.S.
If there was a mindfulness class in every high school,
I feel like this world would be a totally different place because I feel like there'd be a lot more understanding.
And there would be a lot more respect in the world.
If mindful studies was in every school in the world, we'd all become much better listeners.
Somebody says something, somebody doesn't like that, has to retaliate. But if we had mindfulness, we can learn to accept that my reality is different from yours.
I think a lot of that tension is caused by people not really knowing how to handle themselves and their feelings and emotions.
You don't have to be a politician to change the world. You can just be in a mindfulness class. That's how I feel.
I have the ability to overcome obstacles. I have the ability to achieve like never before, and I have the ability to be who I am, loving who I am, and taking that love with me and spreading it everywhere else I go.
this is about social pressure. Social pressure when people compare themselves with other people. You know, you increase or you create social pressure. And when you're under social pressure constantly, that's how you feel. You feel under pressure. You have a lot of negative thoughts. Because you are no longer happy with yourself. Okay, we look at the other benefits of mindfulness in school.
Schools are another promising setting for teachers and students alike to reap the benefits of mindfulness practices and encourage the development of healthy habits early on.
But I can't think of a parent in America across the political spectrum, urban, suburban, rural, if you went up to them and said, we want to implement programs into your child's school that will help her pay attention, focus, concentrate, be more present, probably a little more creative, listen better. I mean, who's going to be against that?
And we're just going to count our breaths for a few moments. Just remembering that our minds might wander away. We might be distracted by a sound or a thought or a feeling. And that's all right. That's normal. We're just going to see if we can notice when that happens and then bring our minds back to counting our breaths.
I used to teach just a conflict resolution program, and some kids were really using it well on the playground, but a lot of kids really weren't, and I would be sort of shocked to find out that kids that I thought were really understanding what I was telling them, you know, they were down in the office getting in trouble all the time. So I felt like there was something missing. I kept thinking, they need to understand and recognize when they're angry or when they're starting to get angry, and they need a way to be able to calm down. Otherwise, all these great strategies I'm teaching them are kind of pointless. So I was doing some reading, trying to figure out what I could do to help with that part, and I started reading more about mindfulness. And I'd known about meditation and mindfulness, but I didn't really know that people taught it to children. And so I started reading about it, and I thought, I think this is exactly what I need. And I really wasn't sure how they would respond to it, but I just tried it out. And right away, I could just feel this was the foundation of everything I was teaching, and it was what had been missing. And so now when I talk about conflict resolution, we start out with mindfulness. We start out, before I get into any kind of strategies for how you can talk things over, or how you could work out a conflict, we talk about recognizing our feelings, starting to feel in your body when you're getting angry, and we practice a lot of different strategies, deep breathing and stuff, to try to help you take care of your anger so that you have a clearer mind and you can think, oh, I know, if I really want to push this little boy who just took the ball from me, but if I push the little boy, this will happen. And you have that little time from mindfulness to wait before you react. And that just seemed like the best thing I could be giving the kids. Now the conflict resolution skills are almost like gravy. I mean, they often use them, but without that step, without that space between their feeling and their response to their feeling, the conflict resolution stuff didn't really work.
Okay, these two video clips, they're about mindfulness. They're about taking care of ourselves. After lunch, if you feel sleepy, you need to take care of yourself. Don't blame yourself for feeling sleepy, okay? If you feel tired, you even need to take care of yourself more. We need to take care of our breathing. Okay, breathing. Everything else will be meaningless if our breathing is not doing well. Okay, the students here at the front, you think about your biological lessons, respiratory system, circulatory system. If they are not functioning well, all you learn in the school will be meaningless. Whatever you have, your phone, your toys, your friends, everything, they have no value without breathing functioning well. And breathing is about oxygen supply. We supply oxygen to our brain, to our heart, to the whole body. So by taking care of our breathing, we are taking care of the whole body. So this time, we are going to do just 3 minutes meditation. I know in the morning, you did a lot longer than that. But this time, only 3 minutes. And these 3 minutes, you're going to, one hand on your heart, just to take care of your heart. The other hand on your system, on your tummy. As you breathe, you feel your whole existence. You take deep and slow breathing. And you count your breathing when you breathe in and out. You count 1. Breathe in and out 2. We go up to 5, and then we start all over again from 1. Okay, that's one thing. Another thing is that if your mind wanders away, just notice that the wandering mind needs taken care of too. Don't blame your wandering mind, because it wants to see, it wants to experience. Okay, it wants to know what you're going to have tomorrow, what you're going to be doing. When you're back in school, what will you be learning tomorrow? So your mind wants to know. And that's good. But you have to just take care of that mind and bring it back to breathing. So breathing is like home. It's like your home. If you visit your friend, that's perfectly all right. But you need to go back home. If you go to school, that's necessary too, but you need to return home. You go to a swimming pool. Yes, you need to do that. But each time you go out, please return home. Your home is your breathing. Okay? Okay, are you ready? One hand on the heart, the other hand on your tummy. And I'm going to set the time for 3 minutes. Give yourself kindness. Okay, give yourself kindness. And I'll start taking deep and slow breathing. And start counting. 1. Breathing in and out. 1. Breathing in and out. 2. In and out. 3. Slow and gentle breathing. Make sure that you sit upright. Okay, good. You can feel your heartbeat. You can feel the whole system working. We need to appreciate that. the oxygen is being distributed to the whole body. That's wonderful. Slow and deep breathing. Slow and deep breathing. Very good. If your mind wanders, don't blame it. Don't feel bad. Just bring it back to breathing. Deep and slow breathing. We are nearly there. Deep and slow breathing. Place your hand on your heart and your tummy. Feel your heartbeat. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, well done. The next bit will be about positive thinking. We are going to be thinking about things positive in our life. We're going to recognize that they are there. There are many positive things in our life. About school, especially about your hard work for each subject. Think about the subject you enjoy and how you put in a lot of effort into that. Particularly, I want you to focus on difficult question, difficult topic that you have learned. How you work hard, how you learn about those topics, how you overcame them. But first, we're going to be watching one video clip. It's only 2 minutes. It's for everybody.
Feeling stressed out at work? Try this exercise. It could make a big difference for you and your health. Science tells us that when we are in this positive, relaxed state, our stress hormones fall, our anti-aging hormone rises, our immune system is strengthened, and we are triggering our parasympathetic rest and restore response. Put your awareness on your heart and feel your heart. Now imagine that you are breathing into the heart space around your heart. Breathe a little slower and a little deeper than usual. About 5 or 6 seconds in and out. Now bring to mind a positive aspect of your life, or a person or a place that you appreciate, and let yourself feel that appreciation, that gratitude. And if it feels natural, let yourself smile. Now radiate this feeling out to your family, to your friends, your co-workers, the campus, the city, the planet. This is potent medicine. You can do it anytime, any place. You are your own pharmacist.
Okay, if you don't mind, I'd like to come and talk to you privately, okay? 6 of you, okay? You don't have to speak loud, but I start with you. What's your favorite subject in the school? English, okay. And is there any difficult topic you come across? What would you say you have to put in a lot of effort to learn in English? Is it writing? Is it poem? Is it what? Huh? Oh, that's quite similar to me. Any topic you think difficult in psychology? Neurotransmission, but you enjoy working on that. I'm going to ask you to think about the difficulty in that topic and how you work your way through, and to recognize your effort, okay? And what about you? Now you get some idea. You enjoy English. You enjoy learning English. What would be a difficult topic? It's something that you need to work harder than any other topic. You can think about that, okay? Okay, what about you? What's your favorite subject?
My favorite subject is math.
Math, okay. I'm sure some of the questions are more difficult than others. And you have worked your way through many questions, many topics. And when we do meditation later, I want you to think about them. how you work your way through, how you solve those difficult questions, and to recognize how much you have done, to recognize your own effort. Okay, we can think about positive things, but it's more effective if we think how we solve problems, especially difficult ones. Okay, Hero, what's your favorite subject? Maths also. What would be a difficult question if? Algebra. But you like it, you still like it. So in this meditation, what we are going to do is how you didn't know about algebra, and then how you started working on that, how you got through that. You're going to think about that in detail and recognizing your own effort. Of course, not just your own effort. After that, I'm going to ask you to extend it to other people who help you. Okay? Maybe the people who wrote the textbooks, maybe your teachers, like that. What about you, Eric?
For me, it would be maths too.
Maths too. And what do you think is the most difficult topic?
Anti-derivatives.
Okay. And but now you enjoy working on that. So that's how I'm going to ask you to think through that difficult question, the most difficult one that you have come across, that you enjoy now, working on that, and looking back that you feel satisfied. Okay? We're going to be doing that, and that will be our meditation today. So, what's the subject you enjoy?
World studies.
World study, international affair.
Like history.
Like history. Oh, I like history too. Okay, like history. So, what would be the most complicated topic you think in history? Imperialism. Yes. So you can think about the topic and how you work your way through. You appreciate your own effort first, and then you extend that. Because it took many people's effort, and for many years, to have the book in your hand that you have. Okay. Thank you. And this is for parents and also for adults too. I want you to imagine, not to imagine, to go back and reflect on difficult questions, difficult problems that you have had to face and how you overcame them. I want to take that as a positive aspect, as your strength, to reconnect with your own strength. We could have chosen easier ones. But after this, when we work on growth mindset, you will understand why we choose a harder option. In your business, you come across problems all the time. So I'm going to ask you to replay like slow motion, to replay like a movie, a slow motion movie, to to reflect on your life, how you have gone through, especially difficult problems. I'm going to be doing the same thing. But first, we're going to focus on breathing in and out. We're going to center our mind. And after that, we do that. But I want to ask three and 4, 6 of you, how long we're going to meditate this time. I'm going to give you 2 options, 10 minutes and 12 minutes. Okay, anyone who wants to go for 12 minutes, can you raise your hand? Oh, you're not raising your hands. So that means you're doing 10. Okay, that's fine. Okay. Focus on your breathing. Lightly close your eyes. Gently close your eyes. Breathing in and out. Slow and gentle breathing. Okay, now focus on difficult issues, difficult questions that you have solved. Is in the subject you enjoy. In history, in psychology, in English, in maths. Your favorite subjects. We are not thinking about the easier topics, but the difficult one that we have had to work harder. Just like that in business. Some really, really stressful issue that we have had to face. we don't really need to need to be afraid of difficult questions. Because we have solved many of them. Life throws at us difficult questions, and we always do our best you can think more than one question, more than one issue. Now you know you have gone through something remarkable. We don't really need other people to come and say, well done. We can do that ourselves. We can recognize our effort. Now we have about 3 minutes left. I want you to recognize other people, especially in helping you to go through those difficult questions. Maybe your teacher, maybe your parents' support, maybe the school, maybe the people who produce your textbooks. And in business, you can find people who have been there and supportive. Just recognize one or two of them. Thank you. Thank you. I want to know, how do you feel now? Tell me, how do you feel? Can you speak to the microphone?
Oh, I feel good.
And were you thinking about difficult topics in psychology?
Oh yeah, it was like all over the place.
How do you feel now?
I also feel good.
You feel good. What were you thinking?
About difficult questions.
Good, good, thank you. And okay, positive. How do you feel now?
I feel calm.
You feel calm. Were you thinking about difficult math question?
Yes.
About what?
Like certain conjectures. Yeah.
Very good, thank you.
I feel relaxed.
What were you thinking about?
I was thinking about who helped me.
Oh, very good. And after you thought about them, how did you feel?
I feel good for them.
Very good.
I feel relaxed.
What were you thinking about?
Math problems and hard ones.
You don't feel stressed out anymore?
Not really.
Yes, very good. Can you pass it to back?
I feel good as well.
You were thinking about difficult question, hard complicated issues.
Maybe, yeah.
And you feel good?
Yeah, I feel calm.
Very good, very good. This is the training that we should have, because when we come across difficult question, usually we are nervous. Sometimes we have some fear. Actually, we have done this many times. We just have to remember that we have done this many times. The message to the parents and adults is that I ask you to focus on the process rather than the results. We are not ignoring the result, but sometimes we only think about the results and the results alone, ignoring the process. Result-oriented mind. When we only focus on the results and we don't enjoy or not even pay attention to the process, that way has some impact on our mindset. We're going to study it now. I'm sure you are familiar with growth mindset. Many things to talk about growth mindset and fixed mindset. So I'd like to link it to this positive feeling exercise. Now you can see the 6 kids. They were thinking about hard questions, but they are not stressed out anymore. I wasn't asking about the results. I was asking them to go through the process again. Because of this, they built up confidence. In 10 minutes, they feel good. Sometimes parents, they just go straight to the results. What's your score? They have no time to pay attention to the process. What the child has improved from last term to this term, last semester, this semester. You don't have time to go through subject by subject, issue by issue, theme by theme. You just go straight to the result. And if you do that, anyone who is being judged by the results will try to maintain, high result at any cost. At any cost means, okay, when it comes to choosing between difficult and easy questions, if you always go for easier option and avoid difficult ones, there can be consequences in the long term. So, we're going to watch one video clip called Praise.
So check this out. Carol Dweck and her colleagues wanted to look into the impacts that praise had on children's development. So what they did is they took over 400 fifth grade students from all across the nation, and they did a really simple yet interesting study. Here's how it went down. They gave all the kids a really easy non-verbal IQ test. There were 10 questions, and at the end of the test they praised all the children in one of 2 ways. The first group was praised for their intelligence. So they said, "Wow, great job, you must be really smart at this." Now the second group was praised for their effort. So they said, "Wow, Great job. You must have worked really, really hard at this. Now this is a really subtle difference, but the impact it had is incredible. So after praising the kids and getting them divided up into the two groups, they gave them all an option for their next test. The first option was, hey, this next test is going to be a little bit harder, but it's going to be a great opportunity to learn and grow. Now the second option was, this next test will be similar to the first and you will surely do well on it. Now the interesting thing is,
Okay, now I'd like to ask you, you're given a test, with some harder question and some easier question. You have choices. Now just think to yourself, you don't have to tell me. What would you choose, the easy option or the hard question? The hard question, it says, will be good for your brain, but you may not get good score because you might make some mistakes. If you go for the easier one, you might get good score. So now ask yourself, which one I'm going to choose, difficult one or easy one? And now, can you talk to each other? Can you talk to each other what you have chosen? Totally. Okay, we continue with the video.
out of the group that was praised for their intelligence, 67% of them chose the easier option, while 92% of the kids who were praised for their effort chose the harder test. This is unbelievable to think about, how just the subtle difference in the way that they were praised had such an impact.
If you praise your students, your kids, for the intelligence, យ៉ាង ကောင်းလိုက်တာ တော်လိုက်တာ you're very good, very intelligent, very smart. Usually they go for easy options. If you praise them for their effort, they are not afraid of difficult questions. 92% went for difficult question. And you know, in the school, you can only train your brain with difficult question. As an adult in life, sometimes we only have one question, difficult one. We have no choice. In the school, if we avoid harder options and only go for an easier one, we are not well prepared for real life. Look at the difference. 2 in 3 kids who are praised for their intelligence choose an easier options. Earlier, when we did the exercise, I asked you to only focus on difficult one and only the process. This is to develop some habit of working with difficult options. That means she said.
Carol Dweck explains why this happens.
Child or adult hears, oh, you think I'm brilliant and talented. That's why you admire me. That's why you value me. I better not do anything that will disprove this evaluation. As a result, they enter a fixed mindset, they play it safe in the future, and they limit the growth of their talents. Whereas focusing on the strategies they use, the way they're stretching themselves and taking on hard tasks, the intense practice they're doing, those are the kinds of things that say to a child or an older athlete, it's about the process of growth. As a result, they don't feel, oh, if I make a mistake, you won't think I'm talented. They think, oh, if I don't...
You see the finding. By praising the kids for their intelligence, unknowingly, we help them develop a fixed mindset. They don't believe in the benefit of hard work at the end. All they're trying to do is to maintain the appearance of good score, high results. The students who are praised for their hard work, they are not afraid of mistakes anymore. In other words, they are not afraid of being judged by the others. Some students, all they're trying to do is not to look stupid in the class. If in our business, if that's the only thing or the thing that we pay most attention to, that would be terrible. Just not to look bad in people's eyes. Okay, she's...
take on hard things and stick to them, I'm not going to grow.
Next, Dweck and her colleagues gave all the kids a really, really difficult test. It was one that they would surely fail, but they wanted to look at how the different kids attacked this challenge. Dweck noticed that the group that was praised for effort worked harder, longer, and actually enjoyed this test more than the group that was praised for their intelligence. This group got really frustrated with this test and had the tendency to give up early. After this artificially induced failure round, all of the kids were given a third and final test.
This is the question the researchers know the kid wouldn't be able to answer. Actually, they were not testing the IQ. They were testing the EQ, the motivation. If the task in front of you is really, really hard, you have never faced this before, what would be your motivation? If you feel low, if you feel downbeat, that's already affecting your brain. Your brain is not creative anymore. But the kids who were praised for their effort, they enjoy working. On the question, they knew they couldn't answer, they have never seen. If you read the original book, Mindset, as I'm sure many of you would have done that, two groups of students, the growth mindset one, the kids who have been praised for their effort, they were trying, to find a way out. Some of them thought, okay, I'm interested in this difficult process. At the end of the test, I'm going to ask the teacher, where did she get this from? When I get back home, I'm going to ask Mom to buy me the books, the materials, so that I can train myself. You see, the motivation is still very good. Both groups, they couldn't answer. None of them could answer. But the other one has already given it up early. The brain is not working anymore. In the fMRI, you can see there's no normal activity in the brain. So growth mindset and fixed mindset affect the learning process. At work, it affects also motivation. Motivation affects performance. Performance affects the results. So a change of events, one triggered the other.
Now this test was the same level of difficulty as the first one, but check out the results. The group that was praised for their intelligence actually did worse on this test than the first one. Their average score actually dropped by 20%, while the group that was praised for their effort did significantly better, raising their average score by nearly 30%. This is a 50% difference in performance that was caused by a few subtle differences in the way that they were praised. This study shows how praise can either make or break a child's development. I mean, we all do it. We all want to be positive with the children we work with, so teachers, coaches, parents are always looking for ways to support their kids and tend to praise them quite a bit. So we need to look at research like this and realize, okay, praise is a good thing and there's nothing wrong with being positive, but we need to be very careful about praising someone's intelligence or abilities and focus more on the process and the effort that they put forth. I think this is a pretty easy fix that will help us develop growth mindsets within the kids that we work with. And as all the research shows, having a growth mindset has a big time impact on the development of a child, whether it's on the court, in the classroom, or just in life. Thanks so much for following along and watching this video. For more like this, visit championshipbasketballschool.com and click on the championship newsletter. We'll see you next week. Thanks, guys.
I have heard that Bill Gates, when he was running Microsoft, whenever he interviewed somebody for employment, one question that he never failed to ask was, what kind of mistake you have made? The first question. If you say you have never made any mistake, I heard that he was not interested in speaking further to you. If you say, I have made some mistake, then he became interested and he asked, how did you go about solving them? That's where he paid most attention to. This is, growth mindset is also our attitude towards mistakes, towards the process and result. You know, 500 Fortune companies, they integrate this into their performance evaluation. So we are going to watch another one, growth mindset, how it works.
If you operate in the world of sports or education, you've most likely heard of the term growth mindset. It's a concept that's sweeping the world and changing and improving the way that people learn. This powerful idea has been pushed forward by Stanford professor and best-selling author Carol Dweck.
For decades, I've been studying why some people succeed while people who are equally talented do not. And over the years, I've discovered that people's mindsets play a crucial role in this process.
These mindsets are really important when it comes to learning. Her work has uncovered two ways of thinking about skill and development. Some people have what's called a fixed mindset. They believe that skills and intelligence are set, and you either have them or you don't. That some people are just naturally good at things while others are not. In short, they believe that you are not in control of your abilities. Other people have what's called a growth mindset, and they believe that skills and intelligence are grown and developed. So people who are good at something are good because they built that ability, and people who aren't are not good because they haven't done the work. In short, they believe that you are in control of your abilities. Really, the core idea here is people with a fixed mindset believe that skills are born. People with a growth mindset believe that skills are built. People with a fixed mindset believe that you can't or don't have to learn and grow. And people with a growth mindset do believe in their capacity to learn and grow. Dweck's work shows that mindsets have a major influence on people's ability to learn, and that people who utilize this growth mindset tend to learn, grow, and achieve more over time than people with a fixed. Growth mindset really creates a solid foundation for great learning. And because of its power, companies, sports teams, and schools from all over the world are implementing this into their culture. Over the years, we've worked with a ton of amazing groups to help instill this within their culture. We're talking Fortune 500 companies, lots of colleges, lots of high schools, and even a few prisons who are working to build growth mindset into their reentry program. What I'm trying to say is this is bigger than one study or one TED Talk. This is a powerful concept that's helping lots of different people in lots of different places. Now, the reason it's so important and powerful is it is the foundation for learning. And if you understand this, no matter what you build on that foundation, it will be more powerful. But to really implement and run with this concept, we need to zoom in and look at the nuts and the bolts of it. We need to talk about what it actually is and how it actually works. Through years of work, Dweck and her team have uncovered sort of the defining characteristics of the two mindsets. This table really illustrates the contrast between the two. The first big characteristic we need to talk about is belief. Again, people with this fixed mindset believe that skills are born and therefore they can't or don't have to learn. People with a growth mindset believe that skills are built, therefore they can learn. The second major characteristic is focus. People in a fixed mindset tend to focus on performance and outcomes and results. In other words, their main focus, their main concern becomes how they look, and more specifically, to not look bad. People with a growth mindset tend to focus more on the process of getting better, of learning and growing. These mindsets and these characteristics have a huge influence on our ability to learn, and now we start to see why. Let's look at like the 4 key ingredients to growth: effort, challenges, mistakes, and feedback. The research shows that when somebody is in a fixed mindset, they look at effort as a negative thing, as something that you do when you're not good enough. They also don't see the value or purpose of putting in effort. They've been shown to back down and avoid challenging situations. They get really discouraged and worked up when they make mistakes. And when somebody with a fixed mindset receives feedback from a parent, a teacher, a coach, or a friend, they get defensive, they take it personally, and they don't see the value or purpose of the feedback. So in other words, people with this fixed mindset actually avoid and shy away from these 4 key ingredients to growth. Dweck and her team have shown that when people enter a growth mindset, they look at effort as a useful thing, as an important part of the learning process. They're actually more likely to embrace challenges and persevere and work through them. They see mistakes as learning opportunities, and when they receive feedback, they actually appreciate it and use it. Now, the fascinating and important part of this table is to connect the dots between these key characteristics of the two mindsets and our actions and behaviors towards learning. Let's look at the fixed mindset side first. They actually shy away from putting in effort because they don't believe that they can change. They give up when they're met with a challenge and things get hard because they don't want to look bad. So in their mind, the challenge becomes a threat, and because they don't believe that they can change. They hate making mistakes and are discouraged by mistakes because if you're making mistakes, you're not looking good. And they don't see the value or purpose of feedback because they don't believe in their capacity to grow. So in one way or the other, every single one of these actions is a byproduct of these characteristics. And the same is true on the growth mindset side. They see the value and purpose of effort because they believe in their capacity to grow. They're more likely to take on a challenge and persevere through it because they believe that they can grow and because they're focused on the opportunity to do that. So they frame a challenge as an opportunity to get better. And by focusing on the process and believing in their capacity to grow, they're more likely to understand how important mistakes are in this process. And when they receive feedback from a parent, teacher, coach, or friend, they're more receptive to this because their focus is on getting better and because they believe that that information can help them grow and they have the capacity to do so. 2 key points with this table. First, you're not just one or the other. This is a spectrum. And in different times, on different days, in different situations, you might be in a growth, while other times you'll slip into a fixed. But now that we understand how it works and we understand the characteristics, you can start to identify where you're at on the spectrum and, more specifically, the cause of that mindset. Is it our beliefs or is it our focus? Second, yes, these actions of learning are great, and they're definitely behaviors that we want. But we have to understand that they come from our mindsets. So to create a great culture for learning, it's about zooming in on beliefs and focus and creating a real growth mindset, which is one of the most important things we can do.
We're going to do a short exercise this time. You're going to be listening to me, closing your eyes, and I'm going to prompt you with some question for your reflection. For the students, think about a mistake that you made in your homework, in your project, and how did you feel about that at that time. And for adults, trying to think about one mistake that you made and trying to remember the feeling that you had at that time. Is it just frustration? Or is it fear that you might look bad in people's eyes? How did you react to the mistake? I used to fear an exam and I had to repeat another year. At that time, what was in my mind was how people might be looking at me. That was the only concern that I had. I was in a fixed mindset, not knowingly. But after some time, I had some moments of growth mindset, but largely I was still dominated by a fixed mindset. I couldn't see if I had learned anything in the previous year. Now, decades later, I look back. Actually, I had learned a lot in the year that I didn't pass. With regard to the mistake that was there, and how you felt. Okay, now let's examine. Was it about belief or about focus? Were you just focusing on the result that you forgot? You have grown so much in the process. Some parents want their children to start their own business. It doesn't matter if they succeed or not. They want their children to learn the process. We all know about the story of Thomas Edison. How he didn't give up. How the failure of thousands of times didn't discourage him in his search for light bulb. We are told it took him 10,000 times and experiments to succeed. Maybe we never really paid attention to our belief. If we believe a mistake is an opportunity to grow, that people can work hard and grow. That we can improve in life with good strategy, good support, hard work. Think about another mistake. Think about your focus. Were you just chasing after the results? ignoring what you have learned and growth in the process? Or were you judging somebody in your company in that way? The results are very important. But one way of ensuring a good result is to pay attention to the process as much as we do to the result. Thank you. Thank you. You can open your eyes now. Okay, any question? During this session, we have covered 3 topics. Mindfulness, that is to take care of ourselves. The second thing, to focus on positive point in our life, especially how we went through difficult times. This is particularly relevant in today's world. And the last one is to link that positive thinking, being positive even when we make mistakes, that positive thinking to growth mindset. 3 things. Any comment and question? What about you? Any comment or question?
Shimpia, this is not really a comment, but I want to share the experience. Last year, I joined one of your class. It's also regarding this growth mindset and fixed mindset. So including my son, Hero. So we both joined the class. And then during that time, I had a difficulty managing Hero. So he has a very short temper, and he still has it, but then it's controllable now. So I used your teachings about the growth mindset, and it was really a good teaching because I don't have to do much because Hero was also in that class, so he knows that we are using the growth mindset. So what happened was that this year, beginning of this year, we have this sport competitions. It's a Southeast Asia sports, all the international school, they had a competition at the Bangkok. Hero is not really good at the sports, but then we were just part of the sports team. And only then on December, like after your class, we start training. So he's not good at running or swimming, but then I use your growth mindset technique, and we practice every day. So at the competitions, he got 2 awards. And then and I don't really care about the result, but I'm very proud that he tried his best. And then he also is very proud that he tried. So I'm very thankful for your teaching. And I'm going to use the same growth mindset approach to my work and my colleagues. Yes.
Thank you. Any more question or comment? We have some time.
It's actually, this section inspired me to think a little bit more difficult question that I had in mind. So the question is not necessarily about the growth mindset or fixed mindset. It's more about the some of the concept revolving around the Buddhism as I try to understand it. So I kind of want to ask you a question on the concept of dependent origination more deeply. I try to learn on my own in the context of the law of karma, cause and effects, and how it can continue to affect in different levels, different ways. But I kind of want to understand about, how it affects in the sort of like a follow-up life, in the reincarnation life, where I understand it is that as you finish one life, and then how it can continue to affect at different point in times, and how it emerges, how it suppresses. So dependent origination as it relates to the karma in the successive difference of life. So that question has been, I thought I understand it, but I always seem to be missing some components in my understanding. So thank you.
In growth mindset, the conclusion of a big picture is that we have to work hard, and hard work pays. Why we have to work hard? Because it's multi-causes at play, multi-causes contributing to one single result. It's just like, just like we cook a dish, we make a dish. If some ingredient is missing, it's going to affect the outcome. We put many ingredients, and not just many ingredients. The timing also. And which one we put first? Everything condition the result. The law of dependent origination talks about multiple causes conditioning a result. In Abrahamic religious thought, one single cause, the Creator, is behind all the results. The primordial cause, the main cause, the cause of everything, the source of every causes. But in Buddhism, where a belief in that kind of creator and creation is absent, we try to come to an understanding of the world and of life that many causes contribute to single result. That is to say, the results can never be 100% sure. We may not get the same, even if we repeat the same thing. So, we talk about intention, the level of intention, the purity of intention, whether we have had to be prompted by other people, whether we take initiative on our own. At that moment, the level of understanding, the level of enthusiasm, the level of our understanding, how connected we are. And the Buddha comes down to one significant problem. That is ego. That is ego, Today I asked the kids to share the credit with other people. They went through some difficult question, they did that, they made it through. But it's important they also, after they acknowledge their own role, they appreciate their own role, they also appreciate other people. By doing that, we are reducing this self-centered habit. If we reduce self-centered habit, everything else will fall into place. All the good things will fall into place. Fear comes from self-centered. You see, early in the morning, I asked you to focus how your business contribute to the wider society. When you were doing that, there was no fear. No fear of losing, no fear of difficulty, no stress at that time. Why? Because you were focused on other people. I didn't use the word, but that was the essence of compassion. Compassion. So your work, whenever is compassion-based, you have more courage, you have more ability to analyze risk management. So going back to the law of dependent origination, whenever we are more self-centered, there is more ignorance. When there is more ignorance, we make more mistakes. Avijja, Visya, Thangkhara. Thangkhara is about repeating old habit. Why? Because of the ignorance. Ignorance of what? Ignorance of focusing on self-centered. We forget that we are so interrelated. We forget about that. So the law of dependent origination, without going into detail, teaches us that we don't exist independently. Instead, we inter-exist. We inter-exist. The food that we just had for our lunch, we knew very few people who made it. For you, you only knew, okay, this is YPO arranging this lunch. You know each other, you know about 50, 60 people. And then you knew the waiters, the managers. That's all you knew. But we're interrelated more than that. The people who produce the food, the farmer, the agriculturalists, the people who process them, the people who transport them. Over there you got salt, you got oil in Myanmar, you can't avoid this. Other ingredients, you have seafood, you have vegetables. You think about them. How many people have been involved in getting lunch, on the table that we had today? The majority of them we would never know. We would never get to know them. But we are as connected or related to them as much as we are to the people that we know. That is why in the discourse of loving kindness, metta, to share our empathy toward the people we know as much as the people we don't know. That's the criteria. Because of the law of interdependence. They are the cause, we are the effect. We are the cause, they are the effect. Because we buy their food, they exist. Because they produce food, we exist. When we talk about the law of interdependence, we have to remember two things. One is the principle, the other is illustration. The principle goes like this. Because of this exists, that exists. When this doesn't exist, that doesn't exist. Meaning when the cause exists, the result comes into being. When the cause doesn't exist, the result doesn't come into being. This is the principle, the interconnection. The illustration is the 12 links that we study. So, in solving problem, and we look at cause and effect, we really need to observe. We can't go into problem solving mode straight away. We only see certain things when we slow down. Okay. When you rush, you can't even recognize the kindness of your spouse. You don't see it because you're rushing. People smile, you just miss. People's patience, we just overlook because we are so much in a hurry. So mindfulness is also about slowing it down. The Buddha, he discovered the law of interdependence when he could slow down. When we slow down, the mind is sharper. When we're in a haste, the mind is very artificial. It misses most of things. We have about 5 minutes. If you have questions, 6 minutes.
So in my own world and not realizing that my existence matters, because if I didn't matter, then I wouldn't be able to be the effect of the cause. And at the same time, all the people's lives or the things that I've done, I wouldn't be able to be of service either, right? So I think that whole interdependence of all things is really beautiful, and it made me reflect on the company that I'm building as well, and how everything really is around interdependence. Even though it's a technology, it's an interdependence of different technologies, different people, the people who created that, all the code that's come, all the knowledge from like generations that have basically found its way into the company. And I think it's just given me a deeper sense of appreciation for all that is. So yeah, that was my reflection. It wasn't really a question, but thank you.
Thank you. One word synonymous with interdependent is called interbeing. Interbeing. Our being is interconnected. My left hand and my right hand are not the same, but they are so much interconnected. Any more question or comment? Okay, maybe we take a break a little bit longer than we imagine. We're going to have a break and we come back maybe 10 to 3, something like that. And the kids, if they're still here, they will have a separate session. Okay, thank you.